I've been kind of missing in action for the last, what's it been, about a week. I don't remember if I told everybody. I was going to the Michigan Flywheelers Museum annual tractor and old engine show. Wiggles and I were down there for 5 days, so actually almost 6, because we started hauling down last Tuesday, and then we're there from Wednesday through this Sunday, which was yesterday. So anyways, that's why you've seen or heard absolutely nothing out of me, as we've been busy playing. I had great intentions of shooting some video down there, but honestly, we got so busy just having fun and driving tractors and tractor pulling. We had the old Cockshutt 40. I think I've got a video of that Wayland, but I've got what was my wife's grandfather's Cockshutt 40 with a GM 305 V6 in there that he put in back in the 70s. And so we were down there pulling on the pulling sled with it. Just had a great time. But anyways, one of the features of that particular show is that they have a swap meet and flea market set up that's part of it. And I came up with what you see here, pretty awesome new addition to the shop while I was hiking through that flea market. Now, any of you guys that watch A-Bomb 79 probably have seen, he's got one of these. And I don't remember if it was his video or somebody else's where I first saw one of these sky hooks and immediately recognized, like, that thing's amazing. I need one. So I went straight to their website, and I don't know how many of you were met with the same disappointment I was to discover that these darn things are $1,000. And I guess if you got great sponsorships or a great YouTube channel where you're making tons of money, maybe that works. But I'm not one of those guys. I could not justify $300. So ever since, or 300, $1,000. So ever since then, I have had in the back of my head that I'm going to build me one someday. Well, I'm out there hiking around that flea market, and I'll be doggoned if I don't see this critter laying in the dirt at somebody's stall. And so, with much trepidation, I went and asked the gentleman that had that collection there if that was for sale and what he wanted for it. And he said, absolutely, $20. You ever heard of wallet burn? That's when you yank your wallet out of your pocket so fast. It's like getting a rope burn, but it's a wallet burn. Well, I got a wallet burn. It's healed up pretty good now, but just let you know, you got to be careful when you're finding deals like that. So, as you can all imagine, $20 put a smile on my face. So I bought it immediately. It did not have any kind of a base with it. And I'll show you that in a minute. I fabbed one up already this morning, and this handle was broke, which for $1,000 you'd think they wouldn't have rinky-dink plastic handles on them, but well, by golly, they do. And then one other strange thing that I don't really understand is it had this hook on it, and I don't know if you can see this, but I don't really understand why this was this configuration. You can see it's been drilled out. I don't know if this was original Skyhook or somebody MacGyvering. I hope it wasn't Skyhook, because it was pretty awful engineering if it was. So they've opened that up so that this pin here would fit through it. The problem with this is that it was captured in there at an angle like that. And what would happen is you'd pick a load up and it would kick this thing over at an angle like that, and then the swivel wouldn't work without trying to wreck the chain. So I went down to my local hardware store and bought myself another hook with just a round eye on the end of it. Now, it was a little bit of a tight fit in there, and I did have to grind it down a bit, but I decided, you know, you look at the size of these chain links, I still have a lot more material in that than what's in the links. I think we'll be just fine. So this one, there was no fixing it because it's long, thin. It was just locked in there at the wrong angle. Once again, I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty old one, it looks to me like, so I don't know if that was previous design and they finally smartened up, changed it, or if it was somebody switching around. So I do have, full disclaimer, another $6 in my Skyhook now that I've bought this hook for it. But anyways, so I'm going to show you guys, this thing is the berries. Now, obviously I'm not some paid reviewer because I'm showing you a ratty looking old Skyhook, but they're amazing. Having used one a bit, I don't know if I could justify $1,000 on one, but I got to tell you, they're pretty slick. So I'm going to get you set up so you can watch me lift the thing that I bought this for, most importantly. Yes, I'm going to use that on my chucks, but that's not actually what I'm happiest about having it for. So let's see here. I'll quick show you my fabrication work here. So I just took a piece of 3/4 inch plate, welded, I don't know, probably a 4-inch piece of heavy wall tube, I say heavy wall pipe, it'd be like Schedule 80 pipe to it, and then there is no bearing per se in these things that I could tell, even on the factory. So what I did is ran multiple passes around the base of that so that I could then stick it in the lathe and machine off the top surface of my weld to make a flat surface for this to rest on. And I've oiled it up and I've played with it enough that it definitely runs smooth. So the factory one, you can buy these, comes with a post that goes right on your Aloris. Because I was missing that and made this, I went ahead and made it wide enough with the idea that I can take it over here to either the boring mill or the Bridgeport over there and use a couple of toe clamps and clamp that thing right down to the table and use it on those machines also. But anyway, let's get set up here on the tripod again, and I'll show you guys what it is that I'm really most excited about having this thing for. So I've got lots of different chucks and stuff, and what I'm aiming to do is make myself a rack where those sit down behind the lathe. I've always kept them in the front of the lathe where they're in the road, but that's because I have to wrestle them on and off by hand. But now they've got that. There are a lot of chips that get thrown back there, so what I probably will do is make myself a cover that goes out over those out of some, probably some canvas so that it's not too susceptible to hot chips. But this tool has always lived back here just because there was no room for it in front. And this is one of those tools that I would like to use more than I do, but it is straight up too heavy. I've never been able to handle this by myself. Now, this Skyhook says that it's rated for 500 pounds. I gotta admit, I had a little apprehension about that, but I've been on Skyhook's website. I've watched Adam Booth's YouTube review of these again, and he mentions that he questioned Skyhook extensively about it, and that they swore up and down that you could not hurt your tool post as long as you didn't exceed capacity. So, as you can see here, I have got the great granddaddy of all Steady Rest. It's a gorgeous tool, but it is so doggone heavy that even two guys are busting their butts to get this thing on this lathe. And because of that, I rarely use it. Like, it's got to be a pretty big, hairy job, and a lot of times when I should be using a Steady Rest, I don't, just because I don't feel like fighting with this thing. So this is going to radically change the overall utility of this lathe by having the ability to just put this Steady Rest on and off with total ease at will. Like, I can't even begin to describe how huge this is going to be. Like I say, right now, and you know, I have help once in a while, but there's a lot of times where I just don't even have somebody here to even help me get this thing on and off, and then I'm stuck with this. By the way, it's the first time I'm trying this, so if you see anything that looks a little awkward, it's because I've never done this before. I didn't practice to show you guys how slick it would be. Look at that. Set right in place. I will definitely be using the Steady Rest more. I'm guessing if I had to take a swat at it, that this thing, well, let's see here. I know it's, what do we got? Yeah, this is burned out a 4-inch plate. This lathe, I think it's still got the tag on it. Yeah, it came out of an Oldsmobile plant over on the east side of the state. And a guy that I got it from had bought it when they sold, shut that plant down and had a big auction, sold everything off. And this, as far as I can tell, was built by the guys in the tool room over there. And they did a gorgeous job. This is 4-inch plate that was flame cut out. The outside, a lot of it has, like from here to here, has never been machined. But then they machined the inside. This thing will take something 11 inches in diameter, which means that they've built it so that it will support the biggest shaft that is capable of clearing the bed in this lathe. So, which is really phenomenal. And super heavy built, ball bearing rollers, just fantastically engineered, but so heavy that I rarely use it. So anyway, now that I can pick it on and off at will, I will definitely be putting this to work a lot more. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be an enormous asset in this shop to be able to do just that. I mean, the fact that I can just take that thing, swing her around, set her back down there, this is awesome. Absolutely awesome. This one, by the way, has the friction brake on it. I've been playing with that a little bit. So, pretty slick option, actually. I've watched the videos, like Adam Booth got the one with the premium brake. I'm not sure that's actually better, because in order to let that one down, you have to crank it down. And who wants to crank and take all that time? This one, you just pull this release and use your hand as a little bit of extra drag, and you can just let gravity take it back to the floor for you without any cranking involved. So I would say, I've never used the other one, but I can't imagine. It's a ratchet mechanism. You hear it click, 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 clicks up. This one's a lot quieter. And then besides being quieter, is definitely smoother on the drop. So anyways, I think that's about all there is to it. I just wanted to show you guys what I got, and I can say, I mean, I don't know if I can say they're worth $1,000, but I guess it's a question of what's your back worth. Having used one, I would probably fork over the $1,000. I guess if I got to be perfectly honest, like, it would maybe not be the first tool in my shop, but it'd be in the top 10. It's just that dadgum handy. So anyways, that was it. I'll catch you guys on the next video.